Hey everybody, Jane here, and today I'm going to talk about the second readathon I'm going to be taking part in March. The first is the middle grade March, which I've already made a TBR video for, and this is a mystery readathon that is being hosted by Zach from Rye Reads. And he has made a really cool game for participants to play. So I'm really stoked to try it. I'm going to link his video below so that you can get his explanation of the rules. It's not my game. So I'm just going to tell you the books that I am going to be reading for this readathon. Pictures and patterns put into words that stream across the page, capturing life as soul spoken. Okay, so I have a list of prompts here I'm going to be referring to as I tell you these because there's a lot of them. All right, so the first prompt is a book that is part of a series, and I have chosen for that Devil's Cold Dish. So this is part of the Will Reese series, which I have been reading slowly for a couple years now. I enjoy them. They're a lot of fun. I typically consume them in audio. However, my library didn't have an audio version of this particular book, so I'm going to be reading it, but this is from the library. I enjoy the series. I don't know what this particular mystery is about, but the Will Reese series generally is a weaver who fought in the Revolutionary War and now solves mysteries. He has a wife and some kids, and they have always some cool family dynamics going on while also dealing with these different mysteries of the time. The next prompt is a hyped mystery thriller. And I don't know how hyped it is, but this is the one that I've chosen because I've heard at least a couple people mention it, and that is The Night of the Storm. My understanding is a storm happens and somebody is killed or goes missing or something. I've heard a couple different YouTubers talk about this, including Zach at Rye Reads, so I thought, you know, I really want to give this a try and see if it's something I enjoy. The next book, or the next prompt, is a whodunit. And this particular book, I'm pretty sure I won in a Goodreads giveaway and just haven't gotten to yet. And I thought this would be the perfect time for it, and that is The Fall of White City. So this is Chicago in the 1890s, and there is a murder and somebody is blamed for it, and the main character, Evangeline, doesn't believe that they did it. So she sets off to figure out what really happened. For those of you who don't know, I am trying to read a lot of the books I've won in Goodreads giveaways. Sometimes that's more successful than others, but it's one of my goals this year to really get through all of the things I've won. All right, the next prompt is a buddy read, and I will tell you I am in the middle of two buddy reads. I am doing one with Gower Bat, and I am doing one with Corey Overmeyer, who I have been in anthologies with before. Both are fellow writers who I know from being a writer and from having writer interactions. One of those buddy reads, now both of these buddy reads are not mysteries or thrillers, but I asked in the chat about whether we could buddy read books that were not mystery or thriller and was told yes. So for Gower Bat, the book we're reading is 3 Things I'd Never Do. and the buddy read I'm reading with Corey Overmeyer is Walking in a Witchy Wonderland, which is part of the Stay a Spell series. It is a novella within that series. So I will probably be putting one of those books in the Buddy Read Square, but I plan to read both of them during the month of March as part of Buddy Reads. The next prompt has an M in the title. This book is by an author I've already read from and an author that I actually know in real life, so I don't rate their books, but I haven't gotten to this one yet and I'm excited to. And that is Dial M for Maine Coon. I believe this is the second book in a series. The first book was The Pomeranian Barks at Midnight, I think, and I enjoyed that. This author has another series as well that has like a cafe, and I like this series a little bit better than the cafe one. So excited for that one. The next book the next prompt has detective, murder, or crime in the title. And I chose Literally Murder, which is a Black Cat bookshop mystery. I don't think I've read any Black Cat bookshop mysteries. I just like mysteries, and it looked cool, so it was on my shelf. I'm trying really hard with this readathon to get a lot of things off of my shelf because my February reads has been very heavily stuff from the library, and while some of my March is also from the library, I'm trying to read like 50% library and 50% owned, and I'm not succeeding very well in February, so I'm trying to like tip the scales in March. The next prompt is a book that has victim, dead, or killed in the title. And for that, I chose Dead as a Door Knocker by Diane Kelly. I don't think I've read this. Yeah, I haven't read the House Flipper Mystery series by Diane Kelly, but I have read other books and other series by her and enjoy her work. I don't know what the book's about. It was on my shelf. It has a cat. I'm excited. The next prompt is long-standing on my TBR. So I don't remember when, but I read book 1 and immediately bought book 2 with the intent to read it right away. And it's been sitting on my TBR, so now is the perfect time to pick it up. And that is Case of the Fleet-Footed Mummy. So in this, what makes this an interesting series is we have I believe the detective in this is a gentleman in his 40s, and he is a widower. I really enjoyed the characters from the first book, and he ends up with a little corgi dog, and it was just a really cute, sweet, and kind of different take on this genre of, detective stories. Normally we have a female protagonist and she might own a bookstore or something like that. So it was nice to have a male lead. And of course, corgis. All right, the next prompt is weapon on the cover. It's a little hard to see, but right there, we have a weapon on the cover. This was actually the hardest one for me to find a book that I owned or that I already was interested in and had out from the library that fit a prompt. So I don't know exactly what this is about. That seems to be something that I just keep saying, but as somebody who is plus size, I'm assuming that there is plus size representation in here. So I'm excited to give that one a try. The next book is a new release in the mystery or thriller genre. And I picked Fatal First Edition, and this came out this year. It was published in 2024. The copyright is 2024. So I am super excited to give it a try. I don't know exactly what it's about, which is again the theme, but it's very literary looking and books are involved, and I love my mysteries to have books. The next prompt is to finish any book. I don't have a specific book for that prompt yet. We'll just put whatever on there. I have a couple thoughts and ideas, but you know, whatever. It's almost like a free square. All right. The next prompt I will be consuming in audiobook, but I actually got the physical copy from the library so I could read along. And the prompt is multiple POVs. This is one that I've heard talked about a little bit. It's a newer release and it is 27 minutes. I do happen to know what this is about, sort of. There is a car accident, somebody dies, and it took them, like the survivor, 27 minutes to call it into the police, and they're wondering, like, what happened? Why didn't they call sooner? Things like that. So this does have multiple POVs, and I'm excited to give it a try. All right, our next book is a detective series, and I've read book 1 in the series, and I've bought book 2 and was just waiting for a chance to read it, and that is The League of Frightened Gentlemen. This is a Nero Wolfe mystery. So I've only read one Nero Wolfe mystery so far, but basically Nero Wolfe doesn't leave his house. He's obsessed with plants, and he has, like, I guess it's staff who runs and, like, gathers clues and brings it back to him, and then Nero Wolfe uses his powers of deduction to, you know, figure out, oh, this is what happened with the mystery. So I really enjoyed the first book. I could not find this book at my library, so I ended up buying it, and I'm hoping that that's not a trend with the rest of the series, but I'm a little worried it will be. These are fairly old. These are, like, I think in the 1950s or 60s. Let me look. Let me see if it even tells me, because it may not. Oh, earlier than I thought. The original copyright was 1935. So it's been a while. But yeah, so these are really hard to come by. But so book 2, excited for that. All right, so the next one, I'm fudging a little bit, okay? The prompt is any book published in March. So I got this book, which is an omnibus, and the first story in the omnibus, called Petectives, was originally published in March. So I'm going to be reading the first book in this omnibus, which is the Petectives, and I will be seeing if I enjoy this omnibus or the stories, because the omnibus has, like, multiple of these Petectives stories in it. And if I enjoy it, I'll read the whole thing. If not, I'll probably just read the first one and call it a day. I may not read all 3 of them in March because my TBR for March is huge. But yeah, so the first story was published in March originally, so we're using that one. The next prompt I don't have a book chosen for yet, and that is recommended by Discord, which is the Rye Reads channel's Discord. And I will be looking through there and possibly selecting a book. It kind of depends on how much time I have at the end of the month and and what they're looking at. But that one hasn't been chosen yet. And the last one is You Read It for the Twist. And I picked up Who to Believe. My understanding is this is like a murder mystery, but everybody is a suspect type thing. I assume there's a twist. It sounds twisty. Even if it's not, we're going to say we're reading it for the twist, because it looks like it could have some really twisty, crazy stuff happening. And I am excited to give it a try and see where it goes. All right, guys, that is all of the books on my TBR. My TBR is so big. I am so nervous if I'm going to get through all these in March. But that is for the mystery readathon that is being hosted by Rye Reads. So, have you read any of these books? If so, did you like them? Did you not? Next question. Are you participating in the Mystery Readathon? And if so, what is your TBR? And if you don't know what to comment but would still like to help me out with the algorithms, please leave a little book emoji at the bottom. This has been Jane, and I'll talk to you next time.